Only on 10 tonight, frustration from the family of a murdered Providence park ranger, angry with the parole board for allowing the convicted killer to soon go free.
He killed the ranger and shot a Providence police officer at Roger Williams Park 29 years ago. The I-Team's Brian Crandall is here with the exclusive family interview. Brian?
Well, Patrice and Jean, Demetrius Jackson was sentenced to 100 years in prison, but now, after less than 30 years behind bars, the parole board this week decided to release him coming up in December. The family of the man Jackson killed is upset with the parole board for not only agreeing to let him out, but also they feel dismissed in the process.
A brutal scene in Roger Williams Park in 1995. A park ranger fatally shot, a police officer seriously wounded. Now, 29 years later, the killer is being allowed to go free.
I'm disgusted over the whole thing. It's like a slap in the face to our family that he's getting out.
I met with 3 children and the sister of the park ranger, William Abrahamson. He was 55 when he was shot dead.
It put everybody's life on hold. Nobody really ever got over it.
Demetrius Jackson was convicted of second-degree murder and other crimes, sentenced to 100 years in prison. Now the state parole board voted to release him less than a third of the way through. Parole board chairperson Laura Pezzaturo declined an on-camera interview with me, but wrote to me that the board found, quote, Jackson met statutory parole release criteria and noted he was 18 years old when he committed the crimes. His age at the time, not a factor to the Abrahamsons.
These were actions that other individuals, regardless of their age, don't make these choices.
It's not just the parole board's decision, but what led up to it that's upsetting the family. They tell me they got less than 48 hours notice of the parole board meeting Wednesday. In the past, they've gotten weeks notice.
Well, I think that that's very disrespectful. It doesn't do my father, it does him a dishonor. And then dismissing us and basically, thanks for coming in.
You think they'd made up their mind before you showed up?
Oh, I really do.
The parole board chair acknowledged the family's frustrations over the short notice, but says they were allowed to speak before the board made its decision, that the board does not make decisions ahead of time, and that, quote, board members listen carefully to their statements and sympathize greatly with their loss.
I think it was done very shoddy, and I think that the parole department should be held accountable for that.
Jackson's lawyer, in a statement, writes they sympathize with the victim's family and the officer, but Jackson has worked hard on his rehabilitation and understands, though he regrettably cannot change the past, the best way to repay the community is to work hard to, quote, be the best version of himself. Not good enough for the Abrahamson family.
I don't think he spent enough time in there. I don't think he's rehabilitated. They've made a big mistake.
The Attorney General's office had sent the parole board a letter objecting to Jackson's release. Jackson's lawyer tells me he'll live in Florida after he gets out of prison. I'm Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News.